Good morning, church family. I hope you're doing well this morning as we continue reading through the Gospels, reading through the life of Jesus and the works of Jesus and the many miracles of Jesus. And today we are looking at more words of Jesus here. Today we're in Matthew 24, verses 1 through 44. Matthew 24, verses 1 through 44. And if you look at the topic of today's reading, it is the end times. And throughout this passage here, that's what Jesus is telling them about. He gives signs of the end of the age. He talks about the end of times. And I just want to preface this by telling you that if you have come to this video this morning expecting me to tell you when Jesus is going to come back, I don't have an answer for you. I simply have no idea. I'm not making any predictions based off what Jesus is saying here. I just want us to read Jesus' words for what they are here. And I want us to see what Jesus was telling his disciples then and how that applies to us now. And so in Matthew 24, it says that he was sitting on the Mount of Olives and the disciples came to him in private. So this was a private discussion between Jesus and his disciples. And he begins to tell them about the end of times, and he tells them all these different signs and different things will happen. And something that is reoccurring in what Jesus says is, he says, this is in verse 4, he says, "See that no one leads you astray, for many will come in my name saying, I'm the Christ, and they will lead many astray." And throughout these 44 verses, Jesus kind of hits this idea over and over and over again, that in the end times, there are going to be people coming who claim to be the Messiah. People coming who claim to be the Savior of the world, claim to be the one that we should follow. And I love in here that Jesus gives a great example of how we know it is him if we're here on earth when he comes. And he says, if people take you and say, "Look, he is in the wilderness," speaking of the Messiah, he says, "Do not go out." If they say, "Look, he is here in the inner rooms," he says, "Do not believe it." He says, "For as the lightning comes from the east and shines as far as the west, so will be this coming of the Son of Man." That it won't be, "Hey, let's go to this small place and see Jesus. He's come." Or "Let's go out here and see Jesus." When Jesus comes, we will see him coming on the clouds. We will see him as far as the east pans to the west. I mean, we will have no question that it is Jesus who has returned. And so while many during these end times may call to be followed, may say they're the Messiah, we will know as he comes on the clouds in glory with the angels that it is Jesus. We will know this. And also we see in here different characteristics of the end of times. Jesus talks about that there will be wars being started. Nations will rise against other nations. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. And I know we see some of these things going on nowadays in our world, but I want to caution you to also recognize that some of these things, nations rising against nations and earthquakes and famines, all these things have been going on for hundreds and maybe thousands of years. Some of these things have happened before, and they had just as much reason then to think it was the end as we do now. Like I said, I'm not here to tell you when Jesus is coming, but one thing I love here is that we see the worth of persevering. We see the worth of persevering. Jesus talks about that he will come, the Son of Man will come, and it says, "Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man. Then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the heaven with power and glory. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other." Friend, believer, you can know that if you have your faith in Jesus, if you do not turn away from following him, if you truly are a disciple of his, if you truly are a saved child of his, then you will persevere to the end. And this will be you, that when Jesus comes with his angels, he will call you up to eternity with him in heaven. And now all the other stuff Jesus mentions in here about the end of times, all of the things that are scary, I mean, it is scary. we can have hope and we can have joy in our Savior because nothing we endure on this earth compares to the glory of an eternity in heaven spent with Him. So may we press on, even if this isn't happening during your lifetime or mine, may we press on and follow Jesus with all we have. May we walk with Him in obedience, not turning left or right to others who call for our attention. But may we follow the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, as He desires to lead us and guide us, and as He will one day come back to take us home with Him. And so I hope as you read in Matthew 24 today, I hope as you read about the end of times and all this stuff that's going to happen, I hope that you're not afraid, but you are joyful and joyous, knowing that Jesus, as He promised, is going to come home and get His children and take them with Him to eternity forever. I hope that's an encouragement to you today to persevere through whatever trial you're facing today. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Follow Jesus. Trust in Jesus. So I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you again here tomorrow morning.